Looks like Jenny from the block has a lot of internet discourse to own up to. So J-Lo has a habit for being a bit of a diva. Well, actually she's got a habit for being a big diva. Once upon a time, she had somebody fired for just being a fan. Bray Dodage happened to be cleaning J-Lo's hotel room in Germany during her 2012 world tour. Now, as a big fan of the pop star, Bray tried to ask the star for an autograph, only to have two of her assistants stop her. Soon after, our poor girl was out of a job and she knew why. A day after the incident, the cleaning company that had employed her at the hotel called and said Ms. Lopez complained. This was all said in an interview with the Daily Star. The former staff member said, "I was fired right there on the phone because of an autograph." On the flip side, J-Lo herself did deny the claims with one single tweet saying, "Come on, thought you knew me better than this. Would never get anyone fired over an autograph." Which, like, sure. If that isn't enough to prove J-Lo's awful behavior, how about this next story? An old interview has resurfaced, and it's one where she wasn't speaking too well about her fellow colleagues in the industry. This is what she had to say about two major stars at the time. In terms of Gwyneth Paltrow, tell me what she's been in. I swear to God, I don't remember anything she was in. Some people get hot by association. I heard more about her and Brad Pitt than I ever heard about her work, which is kind of funny when you look at their acting careers today. When asked about Madonna, she said, "Do I think she's a great performer? Yeah. Do I think she's a great actress? No. Acting is what I do, so I'm harder on people when they say, 'Oh, I can do that, I can act.' I'm like, hey, don't spit on my craft." The funny thing about this is that Jennifer said this after only having Selena and Anaconda under her belt for her acting career, so I think that's kind of embarrassing, and I'm kind of glad that she got called out. According to several of J-Lo's former staff members, she earned herself the nickname Pay Low because she paid her staff around 50% less than they could make elsewhere. This rumor's been going on since like 2003. Back then, Jennifer was spotted in Vegas with Ben Affleck, because that's back when they were dating the first time. The pair had a big win because it's Vegas, and Ben was like, "Hey, I'm gonna tip the dealer a nice tip, $2,000. But before he could actually give over the generous reward, J-Lo snatched up the cash and swapped it for just $200 instead. So why does Jennifer pay her staff so little? She's like, "I had to work hard to earn my money, so should everybody else." Yeah, but also inflation. This is so embarrassing for her. Like, if she had to work hard to earn money, shouldn't she try to help make it easier for others since she knows how hard it is? It's just very entitled behavior, and it's really gross. And that isn't the end of the diva behavior rumors. In 2002, J-Lo starred in the romantic comedy Made in Manhattan, so she had to go all over the world promoting the romantic comedy, and when she landed in London, she had people talking about her demands. Because when promoting the movie, she had a couple of interesting encounters with the hotel staff. Deja vu. She stayed at the Metropolitan Hotel, and that's where a lot of folks were like, okay, diva behavior. The staff was amazed by her lavish and extravagant demands, because apparently it was to a level that they had never seen before. Allegedly, she requested that the hotel staff provide her with thousands of pounds of lemon-scented candles. Also, apparently she only travels in style, even when it's a short distance, so she had 7 limousines escort her to lunch at a place that was only like 200 yards away. In 2012, reports surfaced that Jenny from the block demanded that staff working for her make no eye contact or speak with her. While having work done on her San Fernando Valley home at the time, she demanded that no helpers, no drivers, no contractors have any interactions with her. Granted, these rumors were never confirmed, and allegedly, when she's flying first class, she doesn't want anybody bothering her, not even the flight attendant, even though that's like their job. One time, somebody offered her a drink and she refused to acknowledge them. She said to her assistant instead, "Please tell him I'd like a Diet Coke and lime." Once again, none of this has obviously been confirmed, but it like doesn't do anything to help with that whole diva image. So now, if you didn't know, earlier this year, Jennifer released her documentary on Amazon Prime called This Is Me Now, a love story, which gave a behind-the-scenes look into her album This Is Me Now and the accompanying movie The Greatest Love Story Never Told. Also, there was supposed to be a tour, but that didn't happen for reasons. So some fans who watched all of the media took to socials being like, "Hey, we think you're lying about stuff." So in one scene, Jennifer poses in the mirror of her personal gym, she shakes out her hair, and she's reminiscing about her childhood in the Bronx. She said, "I like taking my hair like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block, crazy little girl who used to be effing wild, no limits, all dreams." But here's the thing. TikTok user Photos by Angela slammed the star in a series of videos because she's like, "I went to the same Catholic school as J-Lo." So she accused J-Lo of lying about her experience living in the Bronx. She was like, "We both attended an all-girls high school in an Irish and Italian neighborhood. You weren't running up and down the block." This isn't the first round of lies for J-Lo. She's been long accused of not actually singing on her albums, and singer Natasha Ramos took to TikTok to shed light on this rumor. So Natasha, who has a voice pretty similar to J-Lo's, was hired to sing the demo of Jenny from the Block, and the production team liked her her voice so much that they asked her to record 5 more songs for the album This Is Me Then, including the single I'm Glad. So Natasha received $3,500 in a backup singer's credit. However, as she claims, and as the original demo demonstrates, it's her voice that appears in the final track. And not only in the choruses, it's her laugh and her yelling from the Bronx. J-Lo only really sings in the verse. J-Lo is kinda notorious for stealing from other artists, and it's kinda crazy. J-Lo technically caught her big break back in 1997 when she starred as the late Latin pop singer Selena in the biography of the same name. And after that, J-Lo ventured into music. Her demo was picked up by music exec Tommy Mottola and Sony Music, and she dropped her debut album On the 6th in summer of 1999. One big hit from the album was If You Had My Love, but that got a lot of backlash, specifically from R&B singer Shantae Moore. Moore had a near-identical song called If I Gave Love, which was recorded a year prior in 1998. Both of these songs were written and produced by Rodney Jerkins, and it's been said that Lopez's then-boyfriend Diddy pressured Jerkins to write a near-identical song for her. And this isn't where all the stealing and thieving ends, folks. Using background vocals, like we mentioned earlier, it's not uncommon in the music industry, but the issue is that J-Lo has passed many vocals from other singers as her own, so committing fraud. Songs like Play and the I'm Real remix feature prominent reference track vocals from Christina Milian and Ashanti, Jennifer and Ja Rule's music video for the I'm Real remix. To break it down, instead of J-Lo re-recording the song, she just left the demo vocals on the song and she failed to credit anybody. She's also stolen or attempted to steal from like Usher, Brandy Norwood, Mariah Carey, and many more. Not only that, but J-Lo has been accused of lip-syncing during live performances on multiple occasions. In 2021, fans took to social media during her American Music Awards performance to express their disappointment, claiming that her vocals didn't match the studio version of her song On My Way. Similar accusations surfaced in 2014 during her performance on American Idol, when a lot of folks were like, "You're lip-syncing." She was singing I Love You Poppy, by the way. Jennifer Lopez had her former co-star Ryan Guzman fake his relationship status to hype up their movie almost 10 years ago, so claims his ex-girlfriend, who was kind of with him at the time. Melanie Iglesias called out J-Lo on the No Chaser podcast for how she claims Jen acted during the Boy Next Door press run, alleging that J-Lo would hold hands with Ryan at after parties and act like they were an item, but she knew full well he had a real-life girlfriend. So the model says she even met Jennifer at an award show while she was dating Ryan, claiming she gave her an awkwardly firm handshake and an intimidating once-over. Something Melanie says was disappointing, because at the time she viewed J-Lo as a hero. Melanie also pointed out when Ellen DeGeneres directly asked on her show, "Doesn't he have a girlfriend?" J-Lo played dumb, claiming she didn't know. J-Lo faced backlash after revealing she was unhappy about sharing the stage with fellow artist Shakira at the 2020 Super Bowl. The duo took the stage by storm at the iconic annual halftime show, with their history-making performance attracting tons of praise from fans and celebrities worldwide. But it turns out that despite the evident success of the joint performance, J-Lo wasn't too pleased with the NFL's decision to have her and Shakira take the stage together, admitting in a Netflix documentary, Halftime, that she thought it was the worst idea in the world. Shortly after J-Lo's comments began surfacing online, fans called her out for her entitled attitude, arguing that regardless of the time constraints, the duo still put on a pretty iconic show. And finally for today, J-Lo says that the craziest rumor she's ever heard about herself was that she was born as a small Guatemalan man. Yeah, so she once recalled the story in an interview. "I've never said this, but one time a makeup artist brought this article that he found, and the article was about how I was actually a small Guatemalan man and how I transformed myself into J-Lo. And it had like a detailed description of the surgeries I went through, including something to make myself taller, the whole wig, and painfully putting each hair in. It was crazy. It was bizarre."
Jennifer Lopez has been in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons recently, and it's all because of Ben Affleck. Now, Ben Affleck has had a complicated relationship with J-Lo, as they were once engaged, but they called the wedding off. They then got back together, and it was recently the couple's 2-year wedding anniversary, but it's said that they are heading for divorce. It appears that Ben has woken up to how crazy Jen is and wants to end the relationship once again. An inside source close to In Touch Weekly said the reason for Ben taking such measures like moving out is because at the end of the day, Ben has to protect himself, and that's why he initiated the separation. He's scared if they stay together, he could seriously self-destruct. They said while he has been spotted spending quality time alone with J-Lo in recent days, he now feels his head is clear and he can move on. If there was a way to divorce on the grounds of temporary insanity, he would. He feels like the last 2 years was just a fever dream, and he's come to his senses and now understands there's just no way this is going to work. Now, Jennifer Garner hasn't said too much when it comes to Ben and Jennifer's divorce rumors, as she has been pretty supportive of the pair. Well, that's until now. Sources are now saying that she's drawing a line when it comes to their relationship relationship drama affecting their kids. A close source recently revealed to Fox News Digital that Gardner wasn't expecting Ben to rekindle his relationship with Lopez or all the media attention that comes with it. Now, Gardner and Affleck share 3 children, and Gardner has always been super protective of their privacy. But ever since Ben and Lopez's high-profile marriage, it's been paparazzi galore, and apparently Gardner's not having it. It's not just the flashing cameras and the headlines though. There's also been a lot of speculation about the state of Ben and JLo's marriage, and it's weighing on Gardner too. Now, based on numerous conversations on his show, Howard Stern has flat out claimed that he doesn't like JLo, her music, or how she's acted in her career. When Howard first got the job as a judge on America's Got Talent, there were a lot of concerned viewers. However, one of his first interviews as a judge, he tried to make his case by slamming other celebrity judges who, in his opinion, are more focused on advancing their own careers than doing the job they've been hired to do. I was critical of American Idol JLo because I felt that she never said anything negative, let's say, and I felt like, well, it helped her career. She got very far. She suddenly got back on the charts and the show was good for her, and it became more about JLo. Now, on top of this, Howard has repeatedly bashed all of JLo's music. In 2011, Howard and his co-host Robin Quivers dissected her hit single On the Floor and repeatedly played the sound of Howard banging his head against the wall in time with the music. Then in 2019, Howard called out Jimmy Fallon for praising JLo's Super Bowl halftime show performance. Now, this doesn't even scratch the surface of how many times he's bashed her. JLo and Shakira came together to perform on the football field at the Super Bowl in 2020. Now, as 2 Latina women, their performance was for the history books, as it was the first time that 2 Latinx artists have teamed up to headline the coveted halftime slot. Now, in the halftime documentary though, it showed JLo being frustrated with the NFL for booking 2 headliners and making them share the same amount of time that any solo performer would receive, as opposed to doubling it and giving the women extra time to shine, later branding the whole thing the worst idea in the world. It's such a big stage and it's such an important show, and it's been a nightmare since we started, she adds. I'm trying to give you something with substance, not just us out there shaking our effing butts and effing belly dancing. Now, not long after the doc was released, this particular line of dialogue was shared across Twitter, with a number of fans raising concerns about what JLo might have been insinuating about the art of belly dancing. Now, for some context, belly dancing has been long associated with Middle Eastern cultures, and from the earliest days of her career, Shakira has been known for this style of dance. So, it was pretty rude and insensitive of JLo to say that, and I'm sure Shakira didn't appreciate it. In early July 2003, Jennifer fired her manager Benny Medina. She accused him of violating California's Talent Agency Act, filed a petition accusing him of misappropriating her money, and sought millions back in commissions plus 10% interest. Now, the assertion was that Benny was not a licensed talent agent under the Labor Commissioner, a violation that entitles a performer to seek a refund for any payments to the acting talent agent. Now, in JLo's case, this amounted to 10% of earnings from movies and television, 15% of her music, recording and publishing earnings, and 10% of her earnings from other activities. Now, Benny denied the allegations, saying, "Jennifer Lopez, by making false allegations against me, is now adding me to the long list of people whom she has used and discarded after she took from them all she could get." Now, in the end, that December, Fox News reported the dispute was settled quietly some time ago. JLo then later rehired Benny to revive her music career in 2005, and the two have remained friends and business partners ever since, but it seems like he should keep his guard up if she really did lie about all of that. Now, Scott Barnes has worked for JLo since the year 2000, but that doesn't mean there hasn't been ups and downs. During an interview on the Jeff Probst show, Scott set the record straight after rumors circulated that he and 2 others leaked plans of JLo and Mark Anthony's secret marriage, and as a result, JLo's team shunned Scott, and they did shun Scott indeed. He said, "Nobody would talk to me, it was like I had the plague." Then when the truth came out that Scott did not leak the news or even know about the wedding ahead of time, he received a phone call, presumably from Jen, who Scott claimed said the following: "It was like, hey, it was a big misunderstanding, you know, we have a a lot of stuff coming up and I really miss you, so let's just get back to work. Although Scott was very gracious about the whole thing, it appears that J.Lo did not apologize to him. Now, almost as soon as Jennifer shared a photo of her and Drake backstage at her Las Vegas show in December 2016, the rumor mill began turning, reporting that the pair were dating. The caption she used for the pic said, "Look who rolled up to my show tonight to say hi, #love him." Now, the singer sure didn't help matters when she uploaded an image of the Canadian rapper giving her a bear hug and looking rather cozy snuggling up to her. Now, while some people didn't believe the headlines, Drake's on-again, off-again love interest, Rihanna, sure seemed to have taken the post to heart and was not happy. According to an unnamed insider who spoke with In Touch, she felt like she had suffered the ultimate betrayal and dubbed J.Lo as desperate and a traitor. Although Rihanna never publicly addressed the issue, she did appear to throw some major shade in the most subtle of ways when in December of 2016, she suddenly unfollowed Jen on Instagram. Jennifer Lopez and Jenna Dewan seemed to get along just fine when they both appeared on NBC's World of Dance, the reality dance competition which premiered in 2017, saw Jen taking on the role of executive producer and judge, while Jenna acted as a host and mentor. Now, the pair, who were both dancers, never showed any signs of animosity on the small screen, but according to OK Magazine, the vibe was very different behind the scenes. Jenna can't stand Jen's over-the-top theatrical fakery, the outlet quotes an unnamed source saying. Jen never fails to ham it up when the cameras are rolling, and she hijacks the show. Every situation, even off-camera, is micromanaged by J.Lo, and Jenna feels excluded, the insider concluded. J.Lo and Madonna's feud all began when Madonna was asked who she thinks is the best female singer in the world, and she said Jennifer Lopez was a good actress, but she couldn't sing. Then, in a 1998 interview, Jennifer fired back at Madonna saying she wasn't a good actor while promoting her film Out of Sight. When asked about Madonna's acting skills, J.Lo didn't hold back. Do I think she's a great actress? No. Acting is what I do, so I'm harder on people when they say, oh, I can do that, I can act. I'm like, hey, don't spit on my craft. After the interview was published, J.Lo regretted everything she said about her colleagues and said it was all a joke. However, it was already too late as Madonna had already read the interview and reportedly felt disrespected. TikTok videos have unveiled the stories over the past years, and one of the topics was about J.Lo's backup singer, Julia Wang, who saw firsthand her mean girl side. If you were pretty or if you were a Latina, like game over, she hated you, Julia said of the singer. She just acted like a bully. Can you imagine spending time with someone working in a closed setting every single day for months, and this person not even acknowledging you or acting like you exist? Now, although we don't have proof of this, it definitely feels like something J.Lo would do, as she has a reputation for being a diva. Jennifer Lopez has had a long dating history, so let's take a look at the top 10 celebrities who regret dating her. Starting off, we have Ben Affleck. Now, J.Lo and Ben Affleck fell in love on the set of Gilgy in 2001. They then starred in another movie, Jersey Girl, in 2002, and that year Ben proposed to Jennifer, but the following year they postponed their wedding and announced their split in 2004. They went their separate ways and married other people and had children, but those marriages came to an end. Then in 2021 they were spotted together multiple times and photos were obtained of them kissing. They were spotted out together a lot, and in April 2022 the couple got engaged. The pair tied the knot in Las Vegas on July 16th in 2022 and then had a big ceremony with friends and family after. Everyone thought that fate brought this couple back together, but right now they're actually facing a lot of divorce rumors. Now, the couple have been living apart and they're selling their joint $60 million house. Now, it's also been said that the pair don't have a prenup, so that will make a prospective divorce interesting. Now, with it appearing that this relationship has failed twice, I'm sure that Ben is tired of it. Next up is Ojani Noah. Although J.Lo's short-lived marriage to Ojani Noah ended in 1998, it seems like her ex still can't stand her. Now, despite the fact that they were only married for 9 months, Noah has been trying to slander his former flame and keep his name in the news by any means possible. In 2006, he set out to publish a tell-all book dubbed The Unknown Truth, a passionate portrait of a serial thriller, which Jennifer stopped with a lawsuit, claiming that her ex was breaking their confidentiality agreement. She was awarded $545,000 in damages, and Noah was slapped with the court order, which forbade him from criticizing, casting in a negative light, or otherwise disparaging Jennifer. Meanwhile, during a 2016 appearance on Million Dollar Matchmaker, he dumped blame on his former wife, saying that she caused their split, claiming, "I was looking forward to being with her for the rest of my life. It didn't happen. She made a choice of career instead of me." So yeah, due to all that, I think it's safe to say that he regrets and even hates her. Then there's Drake. Almost as soon as Jennifer shared a snap of herself chilling with Drake backstage at her Las Vegas show in December 2016, it was reported that the pair were dating. The caption she used for the pic was, "Look who rolled up to my show tonight to say hi, #love him." She then made another post of him giving her a bear hug and looking rather cozy snuggling up to her. While some didn't believe the headlines, Drake's on-again, off-again love interest at the time, Rihanna, sure seemed to take the post to heart. Now, according to an unnamed insider who spoke with In Touch, she felt that she had suffered the ultimate betrayal and dubbed J-Lo desperate and a traitor. After all, the two used to be close and is said to have confided in J-Lo about her rocky relationship with Drake. Now, although Rihanna never publicly addressed the issue, she unfollowed Jennifer shortly after. Now, Rihanna ended up getting together with A$AP Rocky and having 2 children together, so I'm sure she doesn't really care who Drake's into now. But at the time though, an anonymous source told E! News that J-Lo was having fun with the rapper. But J-Lo dispelled any dating rumors during a 2017 interview on The Daily Show where she said, "Let me clear this up, I am not with Drake." Then in 2018, Drake name-dropped Jennifer on his track Diplomatic Immunity. 2010 was When I Lost My Halo. 2017, I Lost a J-Lo. Now we have P. Diddy. Jennifer reminisced on her and Diddy's relationship in a 2003 interview with Vibe, revealing that it ended due to infidelity. "It was like the first time I was with someone who wasn't faithful," she said. "I was in this relationship with Puff where I was totally crying, crazy, and going nuts. It really took my whole life in a tailspin, and I never caught him, but I just knew." He said he was going to a club for a couple of hours and then never come back that night. Now, despite the drama of their split, the pair are still friendly these days as they speak fondly of each other. Now, Diddy shared a since-deleted Instagram post of the former couple on Instagram in May 2021, simply captioning the snap, #TBT. Now, one day prior, Us Weekly reported that Jennifer and Ben Affleck, who dated in 2002 and called off their engagement in 2004, were full-on dating again and very happy to rekindle their romance. Now, Diddy later clarified his intentions with the throwback photo, telling Vanity Fair that August, "It wasn't no trolling involved, that's just my friend, and I don't have nothing to say about her relationship or her life." Then there's Chris Judd. Now, after her relationship with Diddy ended, J-Lo met choreographer Chris Judd when he directed her Love Don't Cost a Thing music video. Now, they wed in September 2001 and filed for divorce in July 2002. Now, of her connection with Chris, Jennifer told Vibe, "Coming out of a torrid relationship, I meet this sweet person who's so refreshing, but marriage is not just about love. I thought I had learned that in my first marriage." She continued, "I loved Chris, still love him, he's one of the best people. This wasn't an easy thing to walk away from, but we didn't have what it takes to make a marriage work." Now, in a 2014 interview with Us Weekly, Chris said their relationship ended because he had trouble being connected to someone who was high profile. "You know, it's very tough, your privacy is breached, you're no longer a normal person. Our wedding was a circus. I think several people got arrested trying to climb up a mountain, trying to sneak in. We actually rented the airspace," he said. Moving on to David Cruz. J-Lo and David Cruz started dating in high school, and their relationship began when they were just teenagers. The young couple stayed together through the mid-90s and officially called it quits just before Lopez's iconic hit role in Selena. Now, a source told People that David was truly head over heels for Lopez throughout their years-long romance and was very supportive of her rise to fame. They were high school sweethearts, the source says. He was soft-spoken and kind, and he would do anything for Jennifer. You could see her trajectory early on, and at the time, he didn't mind seeing her take the lead. He was completely content with that, he just loved her. Now, their relationship didn't survive her fame as they broke things off early in her career, but not before walking a few red carpets words together. Now maybe David just couldn't handle the fame, they were both very secretive about what happened between the two of them and the reason for the split, but they seem to have ended on good terms though. Then there's Mark Anthony. Jennifer was fresh off her star-making role in the biopic Selena when she met Mark Anthony in 1998. Now the two reportedly connected backstage at a Broadway show and soon became friends and collaborators. After Jen ended her engagement to Ben Affleck, she reconnected with Mark, who at the time was ending his relationship with his first wife, former Miss Universe Dayanara Torres. Now they had a surprise wedding in 2004 and then worked together on many different projects. The pair then welcomed twins in 2008, and following their birth, the couple reneged their vows even though there were rumors of them getting divorced. But in 2011, fans were shocked when the pair officially announced their separation in July 2011 after 7 years of marriage. In a statement published by BBC News, the couple revealed, "This was a very difficult decision. We have come to an amicable conclusion." Now Anthony filed the divorce petition in Los Angeles in April 2012, citing irreconcilable differences, Billboard reported. Jennifer then retained primary custody of their twins, Max and Emmy, with Anthony granted visitation for a week each month. Neither the pair were ordered to pay child or spousal support, and even though the pair continued their professional relationship following their breakup, rumors persisted about why they got divorced. The highest profile story involved Anthony's co-star in the 2009 to 2011 drama Hawthorne, Jada Pinkett Smith. On the medical series, Anthony and Pinkett Smith's characters were romantically involved, and rumors spread that the two had a real-life affair. Now they denied it, but who knows? Now there's Beau Casper Smart. Just 4 months after splitting from Mark Anthony, J.Lo had an on-again off-again relationship with her backup dancer Casper Smart. Now at the time, an insider told People that it was a fun fling and that was not meant to turn into anything more. J.Lo later hired Casper as the creative director of her All I Have residency in Las Vegas. Now the former flames endured a bump in the road in 2014 when a gossip site, The Dirty, claimed to have evidence that he had been exchanging photos and messages with a model. They went their separate ways in June that year, but continued with their on-again off-again relationship before splitting up for good in 2016. She kicked him out for good because he cheated on her and he got caught, a source told People. It happened 2 years ago and he promised he'd never do it again, and once he did, she was done. Now there weren't any hard feelings following their breakup, however. As Casper told Us Weekly in March 2017, Jennifer is like phenomenal. Next is Alex Rodriguez. J.Lo met A-Rod during a Yankees game in 2005. We shook hands and it was this weird electricity for like 3 to 5 seconds of looking at somebody right in their eyes and getting stuck, she told Sports Illustrated in 2019. Now more than a decade later, the pair reconnected and started dating. I was having lunch somewhere and I saw him as he passed by. Afterwards, I went outside and for some reason I felt like tapping him on the shoulder, Jennifer said during a 2017 appearance on the Ellen DeGeneres show. He texted me, said let's go out for dinner, and I said okay. We had a nice dinner, and since then they officially started dating and got engaged in 2019. Now the wedding faced delays due to the pandemic, and eventually they called it quits in April 2021. The couple released a joint statement on the Today Show saying, "We have realized we're better as friends and look forward to remaining so. We'll continue to work together and support each other on our shared businesses and projects. We wish the best for each other and one another's children. Out of respect for them, the only other comment we have to say is thank you to everyone who has sent kind words and support." And finally we have Tommy Mottola. While this romance was never confirmed, it was rumored that Sony music executive Tommy Mottola briefly dated J.Lo after his divorce from Mariah Carey in 1998, which was the same year Jennifer divorced Noah. Now Tommy attended the 1998 Grammy Awards alongside Jennifer, and soon after it was announced that she had signed a record deal with Sony. Now this was said to be the start of Mariah Carey and Jennifer's rumored feud. Now did Tommy try to be with her on purpose to get back at Mariah, or did he actually like J.Lo? I guess we'll never know. Why is Jennifer Lopez flopping so hard in 2024? Let's take a look at the 10 embarrassing moments that ruined her career. First up, almost no celebrities wanted to be in her movie. Now, in order for Jennifer to execute her musical film the way she envisioned the project, she had to front the budget herself. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, she revealed that she self-financed the movie, which cost $20 million in total to produce. J.Lo also had a very hard time booking celebrity cameos. In one scene, the casting director tells her, "We sent out all the offers last night to everybody, and we're waiting to hear back from a few people, like Jane Fonda." A voice voice off camera then says Taylor Swift is a no, Jason Momoa is not available, Jennifer Coolidge not available, Lizzo not available. J-Lo then says it'd be good to get Bad Bunny to do a little cameo as the bad kid, but of course that never ended up happening. It must have been a red flag that all these big names were turning down her project, but she didn't seem too bothered by it. She said, "I don't want to force anybody to do this who doesn't go, this is going to be fun. Nobody wants to say no to me, Benny, I get that, but when an actor doesn't like a script or doesn't think it's good enough or is worried about it, that's what they'll say. I know that, I've done it." That then brings us to our next point, that she was caught lying in her documentary. Now, the project sparked controversy and backlash on TikTok, all because of the way Jennifer was talking about her upbringing in the Bronx. Now, in the documentary, Jennifer says the greatest love story never told is about facing the truth of who you really are. But that clip completely backfired when it went viral, as fans started accusing her of misrepresenting herself. Now, they see her as performative and insincere and accused her of exaggerating her working class background, as well as her connection to the Bronx. One super clip that inspired many mocking imitations showed Jennifer tousle her hair while looking into a mirror, reminiscing about her childhood. She says, "I like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block. Crazy little girl who used to be wild and no limits, all dreams." But even though she loves speaking about the Bronx, it's a place she actively avoids. And the reason we know that comes down to an awful ad campaign. The central premise of the ad was that sometimes J-Lo will drive through her old hood in the South Bronx in a Fiat 500 just to stay inspired. Now, although it sounds ridiculous, the marketing campaign obviously tried to draw on the singer's famous Jenny from the Block era. Most people recognize the song in which she pays tribute to growing up in the Bronx, which has been a solid part of her image since the 90s. Now, in fact, she even titled her debut album On the 6, which is a clear reference to the New York subway train. A press release at the time stated that she'd be traveling through the streets of Manhattan to the Bronx where she grew up. But that ad backfired when it was reported that she never actually went to the Bronx to film the ad, and that a body double stand-in was used instead. Talk about faking it. Next, we have to talk about all the public fights. It's become pretty obvious that their marital bliss isn't quite as it seems, because there's now repeated incidents of Ben Affleck and Jennifer being caught arguing on camera. Now, the incident that occurred was shortly after Jennifer's Today interview, with the couple filmed having what looked like a tense argument at a fight for her new movie shot. In a clip that quickly went viral on TikTok, J-Lo appears to taste Ben's drink and then looks at him sternly. She seems visibly upset with her husband as he tries to defend himself and repeatedly says, "Jen." He could also be seen yelling over the music that he did not drink anything. Now, it was theorized at the time that Ben is insisting that he hasn't been drinking alcohol and that she was tasting his drink to check in the video. Now, Ben has been open about his recovery from alcoholism and has been to rehab multiple times over the years, like in 2001, 2017, and 2018. Now, that video has been viewed around 2 million times so far, but surprisingly, most people seem to think that Jennifer is being unsupportive of Ben's struggles. Someone wrote, "They just seem exhausting. This marriage will never see 18 months. Another person commented, "It just looks like she doesn't trust him, picked up the drink to taste it. He's clearly upset." And there seems to be a lot of truth to that. Now, let's talk about J-Lo's most embarrassing moment of all, when Ben slammed the car door in her face. Now, the couple went viral once again while running errands in Santa Monica. Video captured of that moment shows Ben looking upset while walking to his car. He then opens the car door for Jennifer so she can get in, but once she's inside, he pretty much slams it shut. Now, when that moment was shared on Twitter, everyone started guessing why he was so angry. Was it because they had gotten into an argument, or was it something else? One person wrote, "Maybe he's just irritated because someone is recording him. I imagine that would get very old." Another person wrote, "I'm sure he's just annoyed at people pointing their phones at them while they're trying to do normal stuff." Now, considering that J-Lo and Ben are one of the most recognizable people in the world, there's bound to be paparazzi following them around all day. Now, it's really no wonder that he feels frustrated, and maybe that's why he's been seen in such a dark mood recently. Moving on to the embarrassing feud with her makeup artist. Scott Barnes, who's worked for JLo for the past 20 years, has had to deal with so much of her crazy hot and cold behavior. In the mid-2000s, she essentially banished him after rumors surfaced that someone had leaked info to the press about her and Mark Anthony's secret marriage ceremony. Now, speaking on the Jeff Probst show in 2012, and when asked about how JLo treated him, Scott said, quote, "It was like I had the plague." Interestingly enough, eventually she ended up giving him his old job back again after learning the truth, but apparently failed to apologize for being so cold and ruthless towards him. I mean, she literally cut him off without a word and blamed him for the leak without even confronting him. Barnes went on to say, quote, "I went right back to work with her and we just never spoke about it again, which is even weirder." The funny thing is, her celebrity makeup artist would go on to work with her for another 6 years and insisted that they remain on good terms, despite the fact that she ghosted him and didn't even apologize. On to the feud with Shakira. JLo didn't hold back when it came to her opinion on sharing the stage with Shakira at the 2020 Super Bowl halftime show. In her released documentary called Halftime, she labeled it as the worst idea in the world. She said, "If it's gonna be a double headliner, they should have given us 20 minutes, that's what they should have effing done." Basically, it turns out that Jennifer was frustrated with the NFL for booking 2 headliners and making them share the same amount of time, as opposed to doubling it and giving the woman extra time to shine. Now, as a result, fans slammed the artist for coming off as entitled. While it's true that they only gave the performers 6 minutes each, the action-packed show garnered immense praise from fans across the globe, with many fans commending the woman for showcasing their Latin heritage so brilliantly. What JLo was really mad about, though, is that previous solo headliners like Beyonce and The Weeknd received 14 minutes to perform. But judging by her complaints, it's clear that she feels offended that they asked her to share the stage at all. Next up, we have the music theft. It's no secret that Jennifer Lopez has been accused of stealing or borrowing background tracks and vocals from other artists for years. One of the stars who accused her of doing this was Usher in 2005. He claimed that she stole a song that he cast aside while recording his hugely successful album called Confessions. Usher claimed that JLo's single Get Right is actually a re-recorded version of Ride, a song that he co-wrote the year before, which was only available online. He said, "I hate it, but I better get some of the publishing rights or else. I didn't put it on my album because I couldn't get it right, but I didn't expect JLo to just take it." And apart from being accused of stealing the same sample song that Mariah Carey used for Loverboy, JLo was also given songs that were initially intended for Ashanti, which is why a lot of people claim what happened between the two artists was straight up music theft. In September of 2021, JLo released I'm Real from her second studio album that she worked with Irv Gotti. But the song was already recorded and mixed with Ashanti's vocals, which is why you still hear her background vocals in Jennifer's version. Moving on to the cheating allegation. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have had an on-again, off-again romance that has been going on since the 2000s, with fans even nicknaming the couple Bennifer. Now, I mean, these two just got married last year after they first got engaged nearly 2 decades ago. But the timeline of this relationship is a huge red flag and included alleged cheating. So in July of 2002, JLo filed for divorce from her second husband, Chris Judd, citing irreconcilable differences. But this news broke just months after JLo had wrapped the movie Gilgy alongside her then boyfriend, Ben. Now, even though she vehemently denied cheating rumors, Ben took out an ad in The Hollywood Reporter, gushing about Jennifer before her divorce wasn't yet finalized. In fact, even Chris Judd's father, Larry, spoke out against the couple and accusing JLo of being unfaithful to his son. He insinuated that the affair started during the filming of Gilgy. "I thought Mr. Affleck would honor a married woman and not just go right into the trailer," and added that she'd be happier if she'd tell the truth and that no one in her little circle is going to say one negative thing to her. But we'll never really know the truth of what happened. And lastly, we have that humiliating interview. The infamous movie line interview in 1998 that could have almost ruined JLo's career was truly worse than you can imagine. She was 27 at the time, fresh off the success of her film Selena. Now, she basically decided to trash all other celebrities that were big at the time and try to trivialize their career and contributions to the industry. In fact, when asked about Madonna, she actually said, "Do I think she's a great performer? Yeah. Do I think she's a great actress? No. Acting is what I do, so I'm harder on people when they say, oh, I can do that, I can act. I'm like, hey, don't spit on my craft. Now, it was so ironic because JLo would go on to do both music and acting for the rest of her career, and critics also trashed her acting on the big screen. Now, at the time, Madonna had been a star for longer than JLo, so there was really no comparison there. And when Gwyneth Paltrow was brought up, Jennifer almost seemed to laugh and made it clear that she didn't take her fellow actress's career seriously by saying, tell me what she's been in, I swear to God, I don't remember anything she was in. Some people get hot by association. I heard more about her and Brad Pitt than I ever heard about her work. Yikes.